Welcome to another episode of NAC Car Culture. Your home of tough muscle cars, classic cruisers and high-performance imports. Kindly brought to you by the good people at NAC Insurance, 10 Tools and Mount Shop. We've got a big show lined up for you today. We head Harbour to check out Tim Johnson's ultra-detailed RX2.
I didn't really mean to get in the project that much, just went out of control.
And we check out Rattler Motorsports Drift Spec Shelby Mustang, getting built to take on the Demon Energy D1NZ National Drifting Championship next year.
No, it should be on the pace pretty well straight away, or we'll blame the driver.
But first up, hot rods mixed with horses and carts for the 7th annual Royals Rumble, a laid-back day put on by the guys from the Royals Car Club.
Royals are a bunch of friends, and I guess the idea of the Royals was conceived probably 8-9 years ago now, talking about what they like in hot rodding or what we're going to do with our cars we had building at the time, and really like the grassroots style.
More of the 50s and 60s hot rodding and the way it was done back then. So yeah, just mates getting together, having a good time. That's more about having a good time than anything else, I guess.
We haven't got any rules, we have, but they're not really rules. And that's what we were looking for. We were looking for a club that was loose and no great demands on people. And once a year we get together.
And that get-together is the Royals Rumble, held in Parongia, a little town half an hour southwest of Hamilton.
A lot of guys treat it as the opening of the car show type season because it's fairly early, which is why we usually get the bad weather. But we've always said from day one, from the concept of it, that if it just ends up being 3 or 4 of the guys from the Royals sitting around a chili bin having a few drinks and a laugh, I mean, we're happy with that.
It's low key, it's low organisation. We really like the relaxed atmosphere. We let people get in and catch up. That's the key of hot rodding. It's the people that are around the vehicles that we're into.
The Rumble sees rods, customs and classics take over the home of the Parongia Clydesdales, which does make for a unique mashup of early style transportation. New tech definitely not the order of the day.
We plug it as pre-63, which that's sort of the area we want to stay at. We want to, as you see from our cars, we want to stay with that old school look. We try to avoid big digital dashboards and fancy wheels and things like that, you know.
A couple of the members will make a selection as the cars come in the gate. There's some fairly relaxed rules, but we all have a fairly good understanding of what type of car that we'd like to see parked inside, and all the other cars, we welcome them to park in the other paddock and enjoy the day.
This is old stuff, you know, and I love looking at the old stuff. I doubt very much whether you see much past about late 50s, you know, and these early 50s cars, beautiful, beautiful.
It's a 1928 Ford Roadster pickup, and it's got a Chrysler 354 in it, a 3-speed auto and an Oldsmobile rear end. The car was built by Hayden Mitchell from Auckland, and he had the car for quite a few years. The chassis is a 32 Ford chassis, which was an old New Zealand hot rod. Yeah, it's a nice all-round car actually. Hayden's done a good job on it, and I bought it off him about 2 months ago, and just done a few little things to it to make it my own. Kind of like the form and the style of the cars of the era. The 50s or a 60s style hot rod is my favourite, and I think when you do them, you've got to stay true to that and incorporate some of those styles, like, you know, wheels or paint or engine, and sort of keep it all the same. Mixing stuff up can take you down a different road. Yeah, that's my buzz. I just love them. I love the cars that look fast when they're not going fast. Good form, good shape, and good proportions.
More to come from the Royals Rumble a little later in the program when we check out more old school cool in the shape of John and Marlene's improved Model A pickup. But next on NAC Car Culture, we've got Tim's super slick RX2 that looks as good on show as it does spinning in circles. Welcome back to NAC Car Culture. We've got more hot rod action from the Royals Rumble coming up later in the show and Rattler Motorsports Drift Spec Mustang build. First up though, it's time to hit the streets of Harvester. This week's feature car is brought to us by the team at Mount Shop. Check out Tim Johnson's trophy-grabbing Mazda RX-2.
Folks are not big car people at all, you know, it's a car in A to B, and the only real reason I got into cars is my brother bought a Tommy Mack and an Evo, and yeah, after that I was just hooked, eh? It's almost an obsession, really. Cars and that, I'm just forever at the shed, or I'm always just doing something with cars. It's all I sort of talk about as well. Like, really like, you know, getting my hands dirty at some stuff, and you know, just enjoying the mechanical buzz. So, yeah. Oh, when I got it, it was, yeah, pretty well, it was done. Most people would say it was done. Yeah, the interior. The previous owner, Chad, made a magnificent job on the interior. The paint was good, it was a nice, different colour, you know, it was nice and straight. I didn't really mean to get in the project that much, but I thought I'd just start off with, take the motor out, Bridgeport it, whatever, and, you know, rebuild the gearbox, and the diff was all pretty shot. So I suddenly got the motor back, looking nice, all colour-coded and everything, with the cap screws, and I just can't stop there, and yeah, just went out of control. '74 Series 2, I think, RX2, and yeah, 13B Bridgeport, went down to Pulse, picked that motor up, and yeah, Master Power Turbo, just anything that Warren recommended to get to the goal I wanted to, just got it. 500 horsepower is the goal. Yeah, I'm sure these days by far it's not massive power, but yeah, on my budget, yeah, that's still quite hard to get to. So unfortunately, still running the RX-7 gearbox. Yeah, I do expect to pop a few of those, but at the time, money probably wasn't there for a Tree-Mac or something like that. And then yeah, Hilux diff, obviously shortened and whatnot, and yeah, we just shimmed it up nice and tight. Finished with some semi-slicks for some traction, because on the old motor, yeah, traction wasn't too much of a thing with the tyres that were on it. So yeah, decided to pump the guards a little bit. Just actually got back from the dyno, and then yeah, got 450 horsepower on 16 pound, but then sort of a noise developed in the bell housing, so we sort of had to stop there. And yeah, there's definitely going to be some more add-ons once funds are available to get to that 500 horsepower plus mark. So, and obviously get used to driving something with a bit of pep. I could probably say I'm going to be pretty good finger nail painter, because yeah, just the touch-up paint is quite often out there. Yeah, every bolt head under there is all painted before I put it in, and then just always touched up after I've used it, and stuff like that. Yeah, just as I said, just got out of control, and it's all stainless, everything. Yeah, it's sort of just that bling factor, you know. Yeah, the exhaust, like the rest of the car, it just got out of hand. Like, I've always wanted to run the screamer pipe to the back and have that sort of twin dumpy style look. So yeah, went out, saw the Rakes Brothers out, Global Stainless there. And the exhaust took overall polished and made was just under 90 hours. So I think to make it was just under 50. And then there's about 40 hours of just polishing, grinding all the welds off and stuff. And even went to the extent of just grinding the welds off the mufflers, you know, just to make it look that much better. And oh, stuff just got, yeah, just mad, just absolutely mad. Yeah, they're sort of half responsible for me being as silly as I've gone. Yeah, just showing me what's possible, really.
And like all good projects, it might be finished, but there's always fine-tuning going on.
Oh, yeah, no, my mate he'll kill me if I say anything, so yeah, just a bit of bad luck there, just sort of kept leaking just before the tune, so yeah, we'll be getting rid of that. Yeah, next question. I see a few comments, on the internet, sort of, "This fella won't drive that." Nah, it's not like that at all. I'll be definitely driving it, I don't build something like that and just to have it sitting in the shed, So, admittedly, I won't be looking for roadworks or anything silly like that, but yeah, no, it's definitely going to be driven. Yeah, definitely very proud. One of probably the most proudest thing I've ever achieved, to be honest. Really quite stressful at times, Blood, sweat and tears are all there, so you still get the odd comment from people, but no, I think it's fair to say I've put my own touch on it, Obviously credit does go to Chad with the choice of colour and that, it's great colour and the interior is just bloody awesome, so yeah. But no, I think I've definitely put my mark on it, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I could say it's mine. Yeah.
Want more? Jump onto themotorhood.com to check out the RX2's full feature. There's plenty more to come on NAC Car Culture. We're back at the Royals Rumble after the break for more hot rod action. And we head for Hampton Downs to visit Rattler Motorsport, the guys throwing cubic inches at New Zealand drifting. Back with NAC Car Culture, your home of tough muscle cars, classic cruisers and high-performance imports. The hot rods are along next, but first, Teng Tools sends us to Hampton Downs, the home of Rattler Motorsport.
We're at Hampton Downs Motor Park. We have a workshop here that we build drift cars, mainly for us. We don't do a lot of outside work at the moment.
Keeping the crew busy is competing in the Demon Energy D1NZ Drifting Championship with Rattler team drivers Kurt Whittaker in a V8 R34 Skyline and Shane Allen in the very original choice of a V8 BA Falcon.
I've been involved in motorsport for 30 years and built circuit cars and stock cars, and so we've learned a lot from there. And
thought I'd like to try something different. V8s weren't in drifting that much back then.
We realised just how better the V8s were as in low-down torque. So yeah, we sort of stumbled into it and yeah, we did well.
The Falcon saw previous track duties as Dean Perkins' touring car, and its transition into drift guise took a fair bit of tuning.
We're out there with this mega horsepower V8 and the speed out of the corners was hurting us bad in drifting because we were so fast. So it was hard to turn around and go, well, in speedway and circuit racing, we're just trying to get drive all the time, and then you go to drifting, and it's all about losing traction. So it took us a long time to sort of work that out, but we had Murray Coots from Australia help us out with the suspension, and yeah, from then on, the car really has been competitive.
But it's time to step up their game again, and Rattler Motorsport are sticking with the V8, this time wrapped in a 2008 Shelby Mustang.
It's a brand new car, it's never ever been on the road, and we got it for a reasonable price, so we thought, oh, we'll maybe pick that up and just stick it away, and when we want to retire the Falcon, we'll bring the Mustang out. The top cars in Formula Drift in America at the moment are Mustangs. And we've been quite lucky to get on to a couple of guys over there that have helped us out with what we had to do to it. The Falcon, everything on that car we had to handmade. So it's taken us 2-3 years to get the Falcon up and running, whereas the Mustang, we should be on the pace straight away.
The Mustang will run a 468 cubic inch Ford V8 with modified NASCAR heads, a setup similar to the Rattler Falcon, although the guys are expecting another 75 kilowatts from it. With this much power, keeping a clutch and gearbox together is no easy task. After experimenting with a few sequential and dog engagement H-pattern boxes in the past, the team will now run a new 6-speed sequential out of Europe.
The brakes we're running are endless from Japan, 6-pot on the front. On the rear, we have 6 pots on the rear, but they're a newly designed caliper just for drifting. Instead of running 4 calipers on the rear, two for handbrake, 2 for your foot brake, it's all incorporated into one.
The suspension all comes out of the States, and Formula D driver JTP will be on hand when it's time to get the Shelby dialed in. And while big torque V8s are a relatively new addition to the world of drifting, the D1NZ regs have been altered to allow the use of nitrous this season. That means less of the lag associated with big boost, smaller displacement Japanese motors, and sets the scene for an intriguing matchup with the 8s.
If we can get into the top 8 this year, we'd be pretty wrapped in a new car for the first season, which I think is achievable. Shane's shown that he's capable of doing that, so we've just got to supply him with the right car, which we think we're building now. No, it should be on the pace pretty well straight away, or we'll blame the driver.
Keep your eyes out for Shane and the Mustang when they hit the track for round 2 of D1NZ in January, and other green-themed stuff out of the Rattler toy box. Time to go much more low-tech now. We're back at the 7th annual Royals Rumble in Parongia, where old-school hot rods and customs takes centre stage.
Yeah, this is must be our first, or one of our very few rumbles where the sun's coming out. It's great to see hot rodders getting out and using their cars and having a great day.
We like the way they used to build them, and the hot rods of the 40s and 50s and 60s, the 50s customs and 60s customs and that.
It's more about the way the cars are done, I suppose, than the actual year of the car. So I like to keep them, as you see them here, you know, sort of ready to go. They're drivers, they're not things we put in show cabinets.
It's like we're capturing a bit of a subculture. There's a lot of events now where people are saying, hey, let's embrace the roots, let's embrace our history, let's embrace where we came from. Giving us another opportunity, I suppose, to enjoy our hobby without heading down the mega dollar hot rod scene that you can head down, and there's some fantastic vehicles out there. This, I think, allows that middle of the road entry-level hot rodder as well to have a great day. It also allows those people who have built beautiful show rods in the past to actually get back into something that's a little bit different. So we get fantastic support from those rodders who have been there, done that, and coming back to their roots and their history.
It's been on the road about 12 months. We started about 7 years ago. It's a 1930 Model A pickup. If you know Model A's, it is a Model A, but pretty much every panel's been touched somewhere. I think it spent something like, my wife would probably back this one up, I think a good couple of years it was in the panel shop, and most weeks something reasonably substantial got done to it. It was 2 pieces, the bodywork, but it had no roof, no floor, all that got done. Drip rails above the doors. Pretty much the only thing we haven't touched probably is the firewall. It was a very good firewall to start with. There weren't many holes in it. A few holes needed filling, but apart from that, it still runs the original grille shell. The bonnet, have I got the bonnet on at the moment? Only got the bonnet on in the last couple of weeks, mainly because I didn't know how to put it on. But yeah, if you know your Model A's, it is a Model A, but if you put it next to a standard Model A, if there is such a thing, yeah, pretty much everything's been changed somehow, subtly. But it makes for a nice package, and as I say, we like it, we drive it a lot. This event is right up my alley. I love it, you know, and if you're into this type of older car, I can't think of another event that's held within, say, 100 miles of Hamilton that encompasses this many cars of this era, you know. I love it. We both love it.
This is our 8th year, and there's plans afoot for what our 10th anniversary could be like. That could be a little bit out there, but we'll worry about that when it comes. We've been very lucky with the cafe, very lucky with the Clydesdale people. They've embraced it and embraced us, and it's allowed us to carry on and run a neat event.
That's about us for this episode of NAC Car Culture. In next week's show, we catch up with the crew from Untamed Motorsport in Hamilton. We get up close and personal with Mike Barry's big cube, nitrous-sniffing 71 Chevelle.
Power thing can be, it can ruin your mind. It's just the thrill of it, you know, get a taste of it and you just want more.
And we check out what's in the build at Magoo Street Rods in Masterton.
The old days of being a rough and ready sort of ride are really gone. Today's clients want heaters, they want a bit of comfort in their car, they've got good stereos, and they are a pleasure to drive.
See you then. NAC Car Culture was brought to you by NAC Insurance, Teng Tools, and Mount Shop. Thanks, team.